Welcome back. Today, we explore some of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Today, we're diving into the world of copper dirty wheat pennies, coins that could potentially make you a millionaire. First up, the 1944 Abraham Lincoln. Wheat 1-cent coin holds a distinct place in the hearts of collectors, especially when we're talking about the 1944 large date with an S mint mark in dirty condition. Let's break it down step by step to understand its value and why it's sought after in today's auction market. The Lincoln Wheat Cent, minted from 1909 to 1958, features one of the most iconic figures in American history, President Abraham Lincoln. The design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose work was an immediate success. These coins feature the beloved image of Lincoln on the obverse, front, and two stalks of wheat on the reverse, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots. In 1944, the United States was in the midst of World War II, and like many other coins during the war, the composition of the cent had been altered to conserve copper for military use. Instead of the usual bronze, the coin was struck in a mix of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Cent is notable for being one of the first post-war coins to return to its normal copper composition, signaling a return to peacetime coinage production. However, the introduction of the large date variety in 1944 has added an additional layer of intrigue for collectors. In the case of the 1944 S mint mark variety, the mint mark is positioned below the date. The S mint mark indicates that the coin was minted at the San Francisco Mint, one of the most respected minting facilities in the country. The San Francisco Mint has produced some of the most prized coins in U.S. history, and the coins minted there are known for their high quality. What really makes the 1944 large date with the S mint mark in dirty condition stand out is its color change. Over time, copper coins like the Lincoln Wheat Cent can undergo a natural patina process that turns them from their original copper-brown hue to shades of green, blue, and even black. This color change is due to oxidation and the way copper reacts to moisture, air, and other environmental factors. For many collectors, this can be a sign of an older coin with a unique and distinct character. However, the dirty condition of the coin, while not typically desirable in most contexts, can actually increase its value depending on its historical and aesthetic significance. Coins that are not cleaned and show signs of age and natural discoloration can sometimes fetch a higher price at auctions, as collectors view these imperfections as evidence of the coin's authenticity and age. In the case of a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Cent, the more worn and dirty the coin is, the more historical value it tends to carry. In the modern auction market, the value of the 1944 large date with S mint mark Lincoln Wheat Cent has increased dramatically. The price can vary depending on the condition of the coin, but even in dirty condition, collectors are still willing to pay a premium for this specific coin. In very fine or extra fine condition, the coin can command anywhere from $33,000 while in dirty condition. Its value typically ranges from $35,000 depending on its overall appearance and collector interest. As with most coins, the higher the grade and the better the overall preservation, the more valuable the coin becomes. However, the uniqueness of a 1944 S mint mark coin with a color change or patina still makes it a highly sought-after piece. Coins that are in original, untouched condition and retain their historical character can fetch high prices at reputable auction houses. In some cases, extremely rare or high-grade examples of this coin can reach values exceeding $40,000 in auction, especially if they possess characteristics like die varieties, interesting toning, or unique features that appeal to collectors. When it comes to errors, the 1944 large date with S mint mark does not feature any widespread errors like some other coins from the era. However, collectors are still keenly interested in these coins because of their rarity and unique characteristics. The large date variety itself was produced in a limited quantity compared to the small date variety, making it a key date for collectors. The appeal for this coin doesn't just lie in its mintage, but also in the fact that it was produced during an interesting time in American history. The relationship between wartime production and the restoration of normal coinage, combined with the large date and mint mark variations, gives this coin a special place in the market. Collectors are drawn to coins from this era because they represent a time of significant historical change in the US. Next up, we have the 1944 large date without a mint mark, which is another highly collectible Lincoln wheat cent variation. While we just discussed the version with the S mint mark, the version without a mint mark has its own unique qualities that contribute to its value in the auction market today. Much like the S mint mark version, the 1944 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark was struck in the wake of World War II. The end of the war in 1945 marked a turning point in American coinage, and the 1944 Lincoln wheat cent was one of the first coins to return to a pre-war design and composition, made mostly of copper. In 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to using a higher percentage of copper in the pennies composition. The decision to mint both large date and small date varieties for this year adds to its complexity and appeal to collectors. The absence of the mint mark on this particular coin means that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is the primary mint for the United States. As with other Lincoln wheat cent coins, the 1944 large date cent features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse showcases two stalks of wheat on either side of the coin, symbolizing the agricultural heritage of the United States. The major difference between the large date without mint mark and the S mint mark variety lies in the location of the minting facility. The Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark during this period, which is why the 1944 large date version lacks any mint mark at all. This makes it unique and appealing to collectors who focus on mint variety and historical accuracy in their collections. Much like the S mint mark variety, the 1944 large date without a mint mark coin can often be found in dirty condition, which adds an element of rarity and intrigue to the piece. When a coin has not been cleaned and shows its natural wear, collectors sometimes view it as a more authentic and historically accurate representation of the time period in which it was minted. The dirt and oxidation that collect on a coin can provide insight into its journey over the years and contribute to its charm. For this reason, the dirty condition is not necessarily a deal-breaker for collectors looking for a valuable coin. In fact, as we discussed previously, coins with natural tarnishing, toning, and patina are often highly desirable in the coin market. Collectors of coins from the 1944 large date series appreciate the subtle color changes and the aged look of the coin, which adds to its overall appeal. In the dirty condition, the value of the 1944 large date without mint mark coin is typically lower than the higher grade versions, but it can still fetch a decent price depending on other factors. On average, a 1944 large date without mint mark in dirty condition may sell anywhere from $20,000 at auction. However, if the coin is in better or extra fine condition, it can easily command between $29,300. There are instances where this coin, in higher grade or well-preserved states, can exceed $30,000 at auction, especially if it has rare characteristics such as unique toning or distinctive wear patterns that appeal to specialized collectors. Much like the S mint mark version, the 1944 large date without mint mark is particularly valuable due to its rarity. The large date variety was produced in fewer numbers, so collectors are always on the lookout for well-preserved specimens. Additionally, collectors who specialize in Lincoln wheat cents often appreciate the different variations and errors that exist, such as differences in date size and mint marks. The 1944 series is also often grouped with other iconic U.S. coins from the era, making it a popular choice among collectors of World War II-era memorabilia. Having a piece from this period, with all its history, wear, and character, elevates its worth on the market. The 1944 large date without a mint mark in dirty condition is another valuable coin in the Lincoln Wheat series. While it may not carry the premium price of some other versions, it remains a highly collectible coin due to its historical context, design, and rarity. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned coin collector, the 1944 large date cent in any condition is a must-have piece to add to your collection. Next up, the United States Abraham Wheat. 1 cent coin, commonly known as the wheat penny, has a rich history that spans several decades. This iconic coin was minted between 1909 and 1958 and was designed by Victor David Brenner, an American artist. It features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, while the reverse showcases two ears of wheat surrounding the words, 1 cent. This design was a departure from the Indian head design that preceded it, and its association with President Lincoln made it both historically significant and highly collectible. The Lincoln wheat penny, particularly in its later years, became one of the most recognizable and beloved coins in American history. The reason for its continued appeal is that it was in circulation for such a long period. During its minting years, the penny saw a variety of modifications, including different mint marks, variations in its metal composition, and, of course, unique conditions and wear that add to the coin's value today. The 1940s and 1950s were particularly notable for the quality and design variations. One of the key aspects that make a wheat penny highly sought after in the collector's world is its rarity. Many coins that were produced during World War II, for instance, are now considered rare due to the wear and tear they endured in circulation. Coins that were left in the poorest condition, like the one we are discussing today with a damaged date, a full rusty color, and dirty condition, are more common than they should be. But their appeal lies in how these imperfections affect their overall rarity and value. Now, let's talk about this specific Lincoln wheat penny, which has a damaged date, full rusty color, and a dirty condition. While the coin's imperfections might sound like negatives at first glance, they play a significant role in determining its market value. The damaged date and rusty color are usually caused by exposure to harsh conditions. These factors often result from poor storage, such as being buried in the ground, left in damp areas, or exposed to extreme weather over time. As a result, coins in this condition are generally considered damaged, but in the world of coin collecting, there's a certain charm to them. Coins that have been through these tough conditions become a part of the coin's story, and collectors love to know about their journey through time. The full rusty color, which indicates a strong presence of corrosion, can be quite dramatic, adding character to the coin. While many collectors tend to shy away from damaged coins, those with a historical significance and story behind them, like this one, tend to have an audience willing to pay for them, especially when rare. In today's auction market, a Lincoln wheat penny in this type of condition might not fetch as high as pristine examples, but it certainly holds its own, especially if it's a rarer mint or date. Auction houses will often list such coins at varying prices depending on the exact nature of the rust, damage, and whether the coin is part of a set of rarities. This particular Lincoln wheat penny, in a severely rusted and dirty condition, might be valued anywhere between $80,000 in auction, depending on its other unique attributes, such as the mint year, rarity of the damage, and overall appearance. The rust and dirt, while less appealing to some, increase the coin's appeal to certain niche collectors who appreciate coins with history and flaws. Error coins, like the one we're discussing here, are often overlooked by the casual collector, but they attract significant interest from advanced numismatists and seasoned collectors. The appeal comes from the fact that errors and variations tell a unique story. A coin with a damaged date could be indicative of an interesting production flaw or mishandling, which only adds to its value in the eyes of collectors. Collectors often seek coins that have suffered some sort of anomaly. These include improper die strikes, partial strikes, or even coins that are accidentally misprinted with errors. In this case, the damaged date may have occurred due to issues with the dies used in minting or improper handling during the production process. This kind of imperfection makes it a highly sought-after error coin for those in the know. Despite its rough condition, there's always a market for coins with unique histories, especially for collectors who appreciate the story behind the rust and dirt. These kinds of coins might even see bids in the hundreds in specific circumstances. Next up, the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the more widely circulated coins of the series, especially since it was produced during the post-war era. As such, it's not uncommon to find these coins in circulated condition. However, that doesn't mean that all 1956 pennies are devoid of value. The year 1956 is particularly interesting because it marked a transitional period for the United States' coinage. The country was on the brink of technological advancements and economic changes. which influenced how coins were produced and distributed. The Lincoln wheat penny design was the first major redesign of the U.S. cent coin, and it replaced the earlier Indian head design, becoming one of the most iconic designs in the world. The obverse features a bust of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse showcases two ears of wheat surrounding the denomination. The coin was so beloved by Americans that it became a lasting symbol of Lincoln's legacy and the enduring importance of 1-cent coins. By 1956, the penny had gone through numerous iterations in terms of mintage and production quality. This coin, without a mint mark, suggests it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the bulk of coins for circulation during that time. Interestingly, many 1956 Lincoln wheat pennies were struck in large numbers, making them quite common in circulated condition today. Despite this, coins from this period, especially those in better condition, can still fetch impressive prices. The 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is particularly noteworthy for its larger date style, a feature that became a standard in the 1950s. The large date design was a result of modifications made to the die used for the penny's production, which was intended to make the date easier to read. This coin, in circulated condition, remains one of the most accessible for collectors. However, despite its relatively common availability, it is still sought after due to its enduring appeal. The absence of a mint mark on the 1956 penny is significant because it indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the main mint responsible for producing most of the nation's coins during that period. In terms of value, a 1956 Lincoln wheat penny in circulated condition can typically be found in the range of $5,000, depending on its specific characteristics. However, coins in excellent condition, or those that are uncirculated, are worth far more, potentially reaching up to $7,000 or more at auction. The demand for these coins is often fueled by collectors who are working to complete a series of wheat pennies or those who have a particular interest in the large date design of the 1956 penny. While the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is not particularly rare, there are still collectors who value any unique characteristics the coin might have, whether it's a specific die variety, an unusual toning, or a minting error. Errors in the Lincoln wheat pennies from this period can dramatically increase a coin's value. For example, a die crack or a double die strike can be a noteworthy feature that significantly impacts a coin's market value. Collectors looking for oddities often find that pennies like this one, in circulated condition, can hold valuable clues about the minting process. Collectors who are passionate about Lincoln wheat pennies have a high degree of interest in acquiring this coin as part of a larger set, which often includes a variety of years and mint marks, adding value to an already interesting coin. Next up, we have the 1925 Lincoln wheat 1-cent coin, which is considered one of the most valuable coins in the entire wheat series, particularly when it's in circulated condition. This coin, though often overlooked, carries significant historical importance and is highly sought after by collectors today. Let's dive into the details of this coin minted during the Roaring '20s. The 1925 Lincoln wheat penny reflects a time of great economic prosperity in the United States. The year marked the tail end of a decade of economic boom, and while it was a time of relative peace globally, it was also a period of immense change in the U.S. The country was transitioning from the post-World War I period to the Great Depression by the late 1920s, but in 1925 the economy was still strong. The coin's significance goes beyond its historical context. This was a period where the design of the Lincoln penny was firmly cemented as one of the most iconic in American numismatic history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln wheat penny first debuted in 1909 to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, following his untimely assassination in 1865. The 1925 Lincoln penny would mark a continuation of this tribute, featuring the iconic bust of Lincoln on the obverse and two stalks of wheat on the reverse. But what sets the 1925 coin apart, especially in circulated condition, is the rarity of its mintage. The 1925 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in relatively large quantities, but compared to other years, it is still considered rare, especially in circulated condition. The total mintage for the 1925 coin was just over 100 million, but over time, Many of these coins have been lost, worn down, or simply destroyed. It's estimated that only a small percentage of the original mintage remains in any form of good condition today. Of the 1925 pennies, those without a mint mark produced in Philadelphia are especially valuable. This is due to the sheer number of coins minted with mint marks from other locations that made the Philadelphia-issued coins rare by comparison. On the obverse of the 1925 Lincoln wheat penny, we see the classic design of Abraham Lincoln's bust, facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," above and "Liberty" to the left. The coin's reverse shows two stalks of wheat, symbolizing America's agricultural roots, with the words 1 cent prominently displayed in the center. It's these distinct design features, combined with the historical weight of the coin, that make it a standout. Now let's talk about the market value of the 1925 Lincoln wheat penny. In circulated condition, this coin can still fetch a significant price at auction. Depending on its condition, collectors might see values range anywhere from $100,000. However, the condition of the coin, whether it's fine, very fine, or even extremely fine, greatly impacts its value. An exceptionally well-preserved 1925 Lincoln penny could easily fetch upwards of $99,000 or more. When it comes to extremely rare variations or specific error types of the 1925 penny, such as die cracks or unusual strikes, the value can skyrocket into the thousands. For example, coins with deep strikes or a well-preserved sheen can easily reach higher bids in the right market conditions, particularly from collectors looking to complete sets. Collectors often focus on minting errors when it comes to this coin, and while the 1925 Lincoln wheat penny isn't as error-prone as some other years, there have still been notable variations. Some collectors are specifically interested in coins with die cracks, off-center strikes, or other imperfections that were produced during the minting process. The 1925 Lincoln penny is also particularly sought after by those who collect insets of particular years. The demand from collectors wanting to own a coin that represents such an important period in U.S. history, combined with its enduring popularity, means this coin is a valuable find for anyone lucky enough to have it in their collection. Next up, we have one of the most intriguing coins in U.S. history, the 1943 steel Lincoln wheat 1-cent coin. This penny stands out not only because of its distinctive appearance, but also due to the historical and economic context that led to its production. Let's explore the details of this rare and fascinating coin. The year 1943 was a pivotal moment in U.S. history, marked by the United States' involvement in World War II. As the war effort ramped up, the U.S. government faced a major shortage of copper, which was essential for ammunition and other military supplies. To solve this shortage, the U.S. Mint made a significant decision. They would strike pennies out of steel rather than copper. This drastic change led to the creation of the 1943 steel Lincoln wheat penny, which remains one of the most iconic and unique U.S. coins. Although the change was only temporary, it had a lasting impact on coin collectors. The 1943 steel penny became a symbol of the wartime efforts, and many collectors view it as a quintessential piece of U.S. numismatic history. The design of the 1943 steel Lincoln penny is consistent with the traditional Lincoln wheat penny design, with Abraham Lincoln's bust on the obverse and the two stalks of wheat on the reverse. However, the key difference with this coin lies in its composition. Unlike the typical copper pennies, the 1943 steel penny is made of zinc-coated steel, giving it a much lighter, silver-like appearance. This stark contrast in metal composition is one of the most recognizable features of the coin. Though the design itself is not significantly different from other wheat pennies, the appearance of the steel alloy makes the 1943 version stand out. The coin was struck at a time when the U.S. Mint was under pressure to provide materials for the war effort, and the steel composition reflects the austerity measures taken during the war. Over 1 billion 1943 steel pennies were minted, but because many were later withdrawn from circulation, their scarcity in decent condition makes them valuable today. The vast majority of these coins were used extensively in everyday transactions, leading to a high rate of wear and corrosion. However, the true rarity of this coin comes from finding one in above-average condition, especially those that show minimal signs of wear or lamination issues. While the 1943 steel penny is one of the most widely recognized U.S. coins in terms of mintage, the number of coins that remain in decent condition is far smaller. Circulated versions with signs of lamination or dirt can fetch anywhere from $55,000 in auction markets, though those that are well-preserved can be worth substantially more. The value of the 1943 steel penny can fluctuate greatly depending on the condition of the coin and its level of preservation. A well-preserved example of this coin can fetch hundreds of dollars, especially if it is in mint state, or exhibits rare features like a full strike or unique die errors. Coins with significant minting errors, such as double strikes, can easily see bids climb into the thousands. Collectors are especially interested in finding coins with minting errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, which can push the value of a 1943 steel penny into higher territories. Even in circulated lamination dirty conditions, collectors are often drawn to the coin's historical significance, especially as it symbolizes a wartime production change. This coin continues to attract intense interest from collectors of all ages. Whether they're looking for specific mint errors or just want a tangible piece of history from the 1940s, the 1943 steel penny remains one of the most coveted coins on the market today. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of the larger Abraham Lincoln Memorial Series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The wheat penny, so named because of the ears of wheat on the reverse side, was minted in various years between 1909 and 1958. However, the 1952 issue stands out due to certain nuances in its design, mintage numbers, and the impact of its condition on its value in today's market. The 1952 penny, minted in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, features Lincoln on the obverse and two ears of wheat on the reverse. The obverse is designed by Victor David Brenner, a sculptor and engraver, and the reverse is a classic wheat design, which remained in use until 1958 when the coin was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. The inclusion of a D mint mark indicates that this particular penny was minted in Denver, which is a key piece of information for collectors, as mint marks affect a coin's rarity and value. In 1952, the total mintage of Lincoln wheat pennies was significant, but far from the highest ever produced. The Denver Mint produced around 92 million of these pennies, but it is the condition of individual coins that can truly make a difference when it comes to market value. While most 1952 Lincoln wheat pennies are not particularly valuable in everyday terms, the coin's condition, especially when in dirty or damaged condition, can add a unique factor for collectors. Typically, coins in dirty condition are not considered to be in their best shape and are often seen as lower-tier investments. However, depending on the extent of the dirt or tarnish, a coin in such condition may still fetch higher than average auction results if it exhibits other desirable characteristics, such as errors, die cracks, or rare variations. As for the 1952 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark in dirty condition, it has been seen selling in the range of $16,000 in online auctions and coin shops, depending on the severity of the wear. If the dirt is not deeply ingrained and the coin retains some sharp features, there's a possibility for its value to push higher in the right market. In some cases, coins with this type of condition can fetch up to $17,000 or more, particularly when presented in the right auction setting. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny is crafted from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The obverse features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who led the nation through the Civil War and worked tirelessly to abolish slavery. Lincoln's dignified profile is one of the most recognizable features of U.S. coinage and remains an enduring symbol of American history. The reverse of the 1952 wheat penny shows two ears of wheat, which give the coin its wheat penny nickname. Between these ears, you'll see the words 1 cent, and beneath the ears, the inscription United States of America is embossed. The D mint mark visible to the right of the date indicates that the coin was minted in Denver, adding an element of specificity to the piece. The D mint mark can influence its rarity and therefore its value. One of the factors that drives collector interest in this coin is the possibility of error coins. Although the 1952 penny is not known for major errors like the famous 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die obverse penny, some collectors look for die breaks, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks. For instance, if the D-mint mark is misaligned, or if there's an unusual feature like a die crack, collectors could be more willing to pay a premium for the coin. Additionally, despite its dirty condition, the 1952 D wheat penny still holds substantial value for collectors because of its historical significance. This penny was minted in the post-World War II era, during a time when the U.S. economy was recovering and inflation was affecting the value of the dollar. The coin's age and its connection to the era in which it was minted are some of the reasons why collectors continue to value it. However, it's the specific rarity of a coin in a particular condition, like dirty or worn-down examples, that can set individual pieces apart. Next up, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a true piece of American history. This coin was minted during the final year of World War II, a period in which the United States played a pivotal role in defeating the Axis powers. The 1945 penny was minted just after the war ended and during a time when economic recovery was on the horizon. It was a year of transition, with the American economy shifting from wartime production to peacetime consumption. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1945 Lincoln penny is part of a series that spanned from the early 1900s through the late 1950s. The design features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, as sculpted by Victor David Brenner, with 2 ears of wheat on the reverse, which became iconic as the wheat penny design. While the 1945 coin is not among the rarest in the series, it remains significant for collectors due to its historical importance, its design, and its age. The design of the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is nearly identical to that of other coins in the series. On the obverse, you will find the image of Abraham Lincoln, with the words, "Liberty" on the left side and "In God We Trust" above his head. The date 1945 appears beneath Lincoln's profile, and there is no mint mark, indicating that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. On the reverse, the 2 ears of wheat stand out as the signature design of this coin. The phrase "United States of America" is inscribed across the top, and the words "E pluribus unum" are beneath the wheat ears, which further reinforce the sense of American pride and unity that the coin embodies. The market for a 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny with a damaged date and in full rusty lamination condition is notably different from that of other pennies. A coin in full rust, with clear signs of lamination issues, may appear less desirable to some traditional collectors, but for those who specialize in error coins, this coin may still hold significant value. The lamination error can cause the coin to have peeling or flaking sections, which may look unattractive but also make the coin unique. Coins with rust or lamination errors have been known to sell at auction for $63,000 depending on the extent of the damage and the interest from error coin collectors. A fully rusted laminated coin in this condition may be harder to sell at top dollar, but it could still fetch a decent amount in the right market. One of the most important aspects of the 1945 wheat penny with rust and lamination errors is its appeal to error coin collectors. Errors like the lamination problem are rare and usually happen when metal strips are not properly blended during the minting process. This can lead to a section of the coin becoming delaminated or detached, leading to a unique piece of history that collectors may value due to its rarity. Despite its unsightly condition, this type of coin can still be appealing to niche collectors who seek out rare variations, especially when it is tied to a historically significant year like 1945, which marked the end of the Second World War. As a result, a damaged 1945 penny with a rusty lamination error might attract a dedicated buyer willing to pay a premium for the coin's rarity and significance. Next up, the 1918 Lincoln Wheat Penny, like many coins from this era, offers a glimpse into a pivotal time in American history. The coin is part of the famous Wheat Penny series that ran from 1909 to 1958, which featured the iconic design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse displayed 2 stalks of wheat, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots, with the words 1 cent prominently displayed in the center. These coins are beloved by collectors for their historical significance and the beauty of their design. To understand the significance of the 1918 Lincoln wheat penny, it's important to contextualize the year in which it was minted. The United States was in the midst of World War I, with the war having just entered its final year. This period saw major shifts in both the domestic and international landscape, including the rise of the U.S. as a global power. Domestically, the country was experiencing rapid industrialization, and with this change, coinage began to evolve to reflect a sense of national identity. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, quickly became one of the most popular and recognizable U.S. coins, as it honored one of the country's greatest presidents. On the obverse of the 1918 Lincoln wheat penny, we see Abraham Lincoln's profile facing right. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, was the first of its kind to feature the likeness of a U.S. president. This was revolutionary at the time, as no other coin before had featured a president's image. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait is the inscription, "In God We Trust," at the top, Liberty on the left, and the year 1918 to the right. The reverse side of the coin features two stalks of wheat on either side of the words 1 cent, a design that has made this series so iconic. The words United States of America are inscribed at the top and E pluribus unum appears at the bottom. The wheat design symbolizes the agrarian heritage of the United States, which was central to the country's identity at the time. The 1918 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in large quantities at the Philadelphia Mint, with a total of over 300 million coins being struck that year. However, despite the high mintage, the coin holds significant value, especially in higher grades. The circulated condition, as in the case of the coin we're discussing, may not command as much as those in mint state, but it still holds considerable worth. Today, in circulated condition, a 1918 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark can be worth between $76,000 on average, depending on the overall condition of the coin. However, coins that are in better condition can fetch significantly higher prices, especially if they have been well preserved despite being circulated. While this penny may not have a particularly low mintage compared to other rare coins, it still holds significant value for collectors due to its age, historical context, and design. The 1918 Lincoln penny is a prime example of a coin that has not only historical value, but also numismatic appeal. For collectors, finding one in better condition can be a major accomplishment, and many enthusiasts actively search for these coins to add to their collections. The key to its value lies in its condition. For example, in fine or very fine condition, you can expect to see prices rise to around $82,000. Coins in extremely fine or AU, about uncirculated condition, can fetch prices as high as $100,000 depending on the quality of the coin. As with many coins from this era, there are certain error variants that have caught the eye of collectors. The 1918 Lincoln penny is no exception, with various types of errors, such as double-die obverses or off-center strikes. These coins can dramatically increase in value. If you happen to find a 1918 penny with such an error, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the rarity of the error. The 1918 Lincoln wheat penny, despite being in circulated condition, remains one of the most coveted coins in the wheat penny series. Its historical significance, unique design, and relatively high mintage make it a key piece for collectors. While it may not be the most valuable penny in the series, its value and appeal lie in its timeless connection to American history